as an overview, North Dakota is an amazingly strong independent music state. I mean, there's multiple towns that have less than 5,000 people that have independent music venues. I mean, Williston has a venue. Southhart, which is outside of Dickinson, which is almost in Montana, has a venue that Fargo bands and Minneapolis bands are actually now traveling to play. It's really wild. I mean, Minot has a couple venues. The Pangea House is a really nice venue. I'll get to it real quick, but the Pangea House was started by some local students, musicians, high school kids, I think, and actually basically became this collective for kids to be able to do something after school, go hang out, and then they have music multiple times during the week and on the weekends.
How cool is that?
And yeah, I don't know if there's anybody that actually started, that was part of actually starting this, that was over 20. I mean, it was literally just young people. I mean, one of the bands that was a big part of starting it came and played a couple songs at the junior high when I was there with my dad. I mean,
that's amazing.
And it's a total nonprofit collective. They do all sorts of shows. The Red Carpet's another place in Minot that got shut down for a while because it's just too hard to keep independent music venues open once in a while, but they're back. And so Minot's going strong. And the Pangea House is really a cool place. I'm looking forward to getting there and seeing a show or two and playing a little bit. I'm originally from Minot, so that should be cool. I would say one of the most sort of alive music venues in all the state, probably in all the region, is the Aquarium. They have an absolute crazy amount of shows. I mean, they have a show. They probably have a show every other day, maybe every day. Some weeks, probably 5 shows a week, 21 and up, all ages. A lot of independent touring acts that actually are national touring acts. They're not mainstream, but some of the I would call them some of the bigger bands in the punk scene, in the jam band scene, experimental, really are looking at the Aquarium as a destination now. And it's in Fargo. In Fargo you can literally see an indie show, an original music show every night. You can go see a cover band every night. You can go see a show every night. Acoustic shows at coffee shops. It's really busy. So that's one place where independent music is, really basically making Fargo a destination, and almost everybody that's touring is stopping in Fargo, and the Aquarium is probably the #1 place. One of those bands in Fargo is the Fillers. They're a friend of mine here in Bismarck. His little brother is one of the guys in the band, and they're super positive, high energy. Just getting done with college now. Some of them are teaching, and I just want to promote them a little bit because they're one of those bands that actually goes around and plays these little music venues, the Nestor and Fargo. I don't know Bar and Southhart, the one I was talking about. It's almost in Montana, and they're always running around playing cool places. Playing in Bismarck at Fiesta Villa and at Youth Works. I've played a couple shows with them at Youth Works. But they're a great example of a band that they have no management, nothing. They're just 5 guys that like to play music. That a couple of the guys call people and book shows. They've got videos on YouTube. They're all over on the web, and you can really get involved in independent music in North Dakota, and they're just a good example. One project that I'm directly involved with is Harmony Fest. It's a local Bismarck festival once a year, usually in August. This year we did it at the Bismarck Municipal Ballpark, We had 2 stages. We had high school bands, got bands that were high school kids playing, rotating back and forth. Gypsy Foot, like I said, one of the bigger acts, local acts in the last 5 years, played Ben Sugi. Neil Peterson's a friend of mine from Minneapolis. We used to be in a band together in college. It was just a really cool event, and we actually promoted it mostly on Facebook, and ended up, this is the 4th year actually, not having to put anything on a credit card or
That's wonderful.
go to the bank, or we didn't owe anybody money from this year, anyways. So this is a total grassroots effort from the ground up. Just local teachers and musicians working together to create a festival, and that's the great thing about North Dakota, is that it's close enough. Everybody's close enough and intimate. It's intimate enough for people to really get directly involved. I mean, I moved from Fargo to Bismarck, and within 3 months I was playing shows. Just by talking to people. And it's, you don't have, there's not really competition. There's not a lot of that, you have to step on somebody's toes to, play at this venue. You have to have a manager, an agent, Pretty much, it's give someone a call and say you'd like to play a show, and a lot of times you can. I mean, you don't have to even have CDs or promotional material. I mean, if you have some experience and somebody has heard you or knows you, you can get involved. There's people that record they go to the shows and they just record them and they just put them online for free.
Right.
People are getting involved directly because they love music.
Well, and I think the scene too is that accepting. You don't have to be part of a certain scene or look a certain way or be anything really, and you're welcomed at any venue to go to any show at any time, and it's not like that everywhere in this country, I don't think. Yeah,
that is very true. There's a really diverse group of people going to see music and playing music, and that's it's refreshing.
Well, and I know my brother-in-law, he's an independent musician. He's a singer-songwriter. He plays guitar. He moved out to Eugene, Oregon, and he's coming back to North Dakota to play shows. He's having a difficult time booking shows out there. Mm-hmm. So he's trekking back here all the time to keep playing.
Yeah. My sister lives in Albuquerque, and they, hearing her little women's folk group, I mean, they could be playing the Heritage Center. I mean, it's that organic, and I mean, they could play anywhere in Bismarck. Everybody would just love it, and they do play shows in Albuquerque, and they travel around. But I mean, they drove to Denver to play in like a community house. It wasn't even a venue. Like went and cooked supper with some people, which is really cool. It's a very cool way to do things. But it shows you that it's difficult. It can be difficult to be a part of something where in North Dakota, it's relatively easy. It's not. You don't just have to look for an open mic night. You can actually go out and meet the people that are playing and find out how do you become part of it. The last thing to touch on is just this relatively new website called culturepulse.org, and it's just just like it says, where to go to find North Dakota arts and culture. They've got it split into regions. If you go to like the Bismarck, is going to be like the southwest area, and it gives you art and music and visual art events, museums, all sorts of basically creative things that are happening.
This is fantastic.
You can. I just signed up for a profile. You can put videos and photos, and like for me, I'm a designer as well, so I can post like things I'm designing, things I've done in the past, as well as the music right here. I don't have to go out and create my own website for it if I don't want to. It's kind of nice.
It's neat.
And that's kind of really, I think, gonna grow.
Well, you can post reviews, I see, and
yeah, I mean they're really gonna. The more this is it, keeps going, the more it's really gonna be a great place to check out all sorts of nice, creative, free stuff and concerts and all sorts of good things. Yeah, like I said, we'll get this outline posted so people can click through, and
Yep.
I'll go through and make sure all the websites are working all right and all that,
Great. Well,
so
thanks.
people can see what we're talking about.
Yeah, well, thanks so much, Luke. This is just wonderful, and I think it gives everybody a real great sense of, what there is available here in North Dakota. And you'll be available for questions if anybody has any for you.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay,
No
Luke's
problem.
email address is right there. You can hopefully see it underneath this podcast. And thanks so much for listening.
Yeah. Thank you.